Good morning. I'm Assistant Commissioner Rick Shipkowski with the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security, and I would like to welcome you to today's 3 Stars of Tennessee Award and Homeland Security First Responder Recognition ceremonies on this 17th anniversary of the attacks of September 11th. At this time, I would ask all attendees to silence their cell phones. This ceremony is being videotaped and photographs are being taken. We will make photos of the ceremony available to all attendees. Additional photographs may be taken after the ceremony, and our honored speakers will remain for those if you desire. Please stand for the presentation of the colors. Advance the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Retire the colors. Please be seated. I'd like to welcome our honorees and guests. I'd also like to thank Governor and First Lady Haslam for allowing us to use this wonderful facility. Today we will have 2 ceremonies where we will recognize Tennesseans who have dedicated themselves to public safety. The first ceremony will be the recipients of the 3 Stars of Tennessee Award. This award recognizes law enforcement, firefighters, and first responders who were either killed or suffered a career-ending injury in the line of duty. The second ceremony will honor public safety officials selected by their Homeland Security districts or their state agencies who represent the outstanding law enforcement and first responder personnel who work tirelessly to keep Tennesseans safe. There are too many special guests to recognize individually. However, we have elected officials, judicial officials, public safety leaders, and most important, family members in the audience. We thank each of you for attending. I would also like to introduce our leaders seated at the front of the room. On my far right is Chief Justice Jeffrey Bivens. In the middle is Senator Becky Massey. And closest to me is Commissioner David Perky. At this time, I'd like to introduce David Perky, Commissioner of the Department of Safety and Homeland Security and Tennessee's Homeland Security Advisor. During his career, Commissioner Perky has served as a dispatcher, an emergency medical technician, a county emergency management director, state trooper, TBI agent, county mayor of Hamlin County for 16 years, where he also was the chairperson of Homeland Security District 2, and most recently as an assistant commissioner of the department. Commissioner Perky.
Thank you, Rick. I was just sharing with Senator Massey that basically my wife tells everyone that I've had trouble holding a job over the years, as all that means having different opportunities. But welcome to the executive residence of the governor for the state of Tennessee. This is, someone mentioned earlier, I believe it was my friend Terry Ash, this is a solemn occasion, but it's also an occasion to recognize heroics in the state and to recognize those who have taken oaths to stand in the gap for each one of us. So I want to welcome you here. Just a few special guests, because they are special to me. Every year when I look down from this podium, I see Greg Adams, the governor's chief operating officer. Greg, you might have missed one in 8 years. Appreciate you always being here. It means a lot to me. Colleagues from the cabinet, the Adjutant General of the state of Tennessee, Major General Max Tayson. Thank you, Max, for being here. Commissioner Julie McPeak of the Commerce and Insurance Department, thank you for being here. Also, I saw Director David Roush and his Deputy Director, Brad Neeland, come in the back. A great friend from East Tennessee, and I appreciate you being here. In addition to the Chief Justice, the Administrative Director of the courts, Deborah Tate. Deborah, where are you? Saw you come in. Thank you for being here. And we also have several members of the General Assembly. As you know, there are 3 branches of government. In order to have good government, and we have good government in Tennessee, all 3 branches play a role. And it's been my pleasure over the past almost 8 years to work with this General Assembly. Senator Kerry Roberts, if you would throw your hand up when I recognize you. Senator, thank you for being here. Representative Mary Littleton, thank you. Senator Massey, that I'll introduce in just a minute. Representative Mike Curcio, had a morning breakfast with him, and Keiki Kerrigan is a guest of his here today. Senator Paul Bailey was unable to be with us. Senator Joy Hensley. Doc, thank you for always being with us, good supporter of public safety. Chairman Barry Doss and Pastor Chad Clanton. You're a good friend, Barry. I appreciate you. You've been very good to our department. It means a lot that you're here today. And also a friend from East Tennessee, Representative John Mark Wendell. Representative, always good to be with you. I know there are elected officials in the audience. Several sheriffs are here. Would the sheriffs please throw their hand up? Several of our friends. My brother was a sheriff for 2 terms, so I'm very sensitive to that office and what it entails, and it's a tough job to have, so I appreciate you being with us. Also, county mayors. I know one county mayor's here. Throw your hand up, Ben. Are there other county mayors or elected officials with us? Thank you all for being with us today. It's also want to recognize the command staff of the Highway Patrol. Colonel Derrick Stewart is a relatively new colonel, 30-year veteran of the department, and obviously I have 3 people who function at the deputy commissioner level in our department. Our deputy commissioner and chief of staff, Dave McGriff, our deputy commissioner and general counsel, Roger Hutto, and then the colonel of the Highway Patrol. So, Derrick, thank you for being here and your command staff. It's my pleasure this morning to, Chief Justice next, to introduce the Chief Justice of the State Supreme Court. I have his bio in front of me, but I really don't need his bio. He's an East Tennessee native, like I am. I'm from Hamlin County. He's from Sullivan County. We are both graduates of East Tennessee State University, and I found it interesting that he got his BS in politics and criminal justice. I didn't realize that till I was reading his bio. He's a good man. He's been appointed by 3 different governors to judicial posts. He's received appointments from Governor Don Sundquist, Governor Phil Bredesen, and 2 appointments from Governor Bill Haslam. He has served at the circuit level, the Tennessee Court of Criminal Appeals, and has been a state Supreme Court justice since 2014, and has been the Chief Justice in recent time. He's a friend in addition to being the Chief Justice. He's a good, fair man, and it's a big deal that he has agreed to be with us today and to say a few words to you. I can tell you from talking with him about being here, that he has a heart for first responders, and that's what we are always looking at. We're looking for people who have a heart for first responders and understand what it means to go to work in a public service role, whether it be police, fire, EMS, dispatch, emergency management, even the military, to say that you will stand in the gap for your fellow citizens. So please join me in welcoming the Chief Justice of the State Supreme Court, Jeffrey Bevins.
Thank you, Commissioner. I think I may resemble that remark about can't keeping a job, as you can tell from moving around from place to place. As the Commissioner said, I do have a heart for first responders, and I can't tell you how honored and humbled I am to be asked to address this group here today. As the head of the judicial branch of government in our state, I travel this state from Mountain City to Memphis, addressing groups of all sizes, ages, backgrounds, and professions. I do not exaggerate when I tell you that speaking to you here this morning is the highest honor I have received with regard to groups to whom I have been asked to speak. You are the ultimate public servants. Moreover, as I stand here before you today, I don't see just representatives of first responders throughout the state. I see mothers and fathers, spouses, neighbors, and friends who have chosen professions or volunteered of your free time to provide hope to others in moments of distress. You anticipate the worst-case scenarios. As a result, those of us you serve worry much less. You are the hands and feet of those who may not be able to walk out of a perilous situation themselves. You give confidence to our society that when the unthinkable happens, someone, you, will be there to help. You are only a 911 short phone call away. You embody the very meaning of a great public servant, and you epitomize the reason that Tennessee is known as the great volunteer state. In addition to honoring those of you who are here today, we also are here to honor and remember those who gave their lives on 9/11, those who rushed into the falling towers and helped as many people as possible escape. Those first responders were just doing their job, as they did every day, as you do every day, unaware of the global ramifications of that day and unaware of the ultimate consequences of that fateful day. May we never forget that sacrifice, service, and courage. To put in perspective the magnitude of even the initial impact of that fateful day, in the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, we lost just over 2,400 brave Americans. After that cowardly attack, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt referred to that event in his famous phrase as a day which shall live in infamy. During the infamous cowardly attacks on our country on 9/11, we lost almost 3,000 Americans as a direct result of those attacks. Moreover, just yesterday, 17 years after that fateful day, we learned that nearly 10,000 people, many of them first responders, who were in the World Trade Center area on that fateful day have been diagnosed with cancer. That is at a rate some 30% higher than that found in the general population. More than 2,000 deaths have been attributed to 9/11 illnesses already. Many experts predict that by the end of 2018, more will have died from the toxic exposure of that fateful day than were killed as a direct result of the terrorist attacks. I promise you here today that we shall never forget that ultimate sacrifice of so many first responders on that day, which truly shall live in infamy. On a more local note, our state has seen its share of major catastrophes. Two prime examples are the Nashville Flood in 2010 and the Gatlinburg Fire in 2016. As you know, the May 1, 2010 flood in Middle Tennessee was a flooding disaster never before seen in our state. It rendered about a third of the counties in this state as federal disaster areas. 21 people in this area died from the flooding, with an additional 10 people outside the state. The flood caused approximately $2.3 billion in property damage to residences as well as commercial and government buildings. One of the many anecdotal stories we heard around that time was a story of a woman and her 4-year-old daughter who escaped the floodwaters at their home, floating on an ottoman as she held their 2 dogs. As they escaped their flooded one-story home, neighbors and rescue workers were waiting nearby with canoes and were able to pull the mother, child, and 2 dogs to safety. In the aftermath of the flood, over 100 Nashville firefighters and police officers walked door to door, checking on residents in flooded neighborhoods and helping in any way possible, visiting more than 700 homes in a single day, only to get up the next day and do it again. And then a year ago, when devastating floodwaters hit Texas during Hurricane Harvey, 91 Tennessee search and rescue workers from 23 different agencies across this state swiftly gathered trucks of resources and traveled to Texas to help others going through the same kind and even worse disaster. Then there was the Gatlinburg fire in 2016. Hundreds of firefighters and first responders all across the state dropped everything to volunteer to fight the fires in Gatlinburg. These crews worked at least 16-hour days searching for stranded victims and attacking the hot spots of the fire. And just today, we hear of already deployment of first responders from Nashville and from Williamson County going to North and South Carolina and Virginia in preparation for Hurricane Florence. One of the many amazing stories that came from the Gatlinburg fire involved an Alabama couple staying at a resort in Gatlinburg when the fires broke out. They got stuck on an elevator at 8 p.m. They were finally able to get in touch with 911 emergency dispatchers sometime around 4 a.m. Brave firefighters from Gatlinburg and surrounding areas were able to rescue the couple from the elevator, even though the entire resort was engulfed in flames. The emergency dispatcher who answered the 911 call remained on the phone and attempted to keep the couple calm. When firefighters returned to the scene the next day, incredibly, only the elevator shaft remained. The firefighters first heard that the couple did not live, but later learned that was incorrect. In fact, the couple had survived. The couple themselves had become convinced they would not survive. After the heroic rescue, they did not expect to survive, but later were thrilled to have the opportunity to thank some of their heroes for saving them that night. These stories indicate that, yes, you were there when the major disasters happen that captures the attention of the nation on a news cycle. Yet we also know you also are there for all of the day-to-day events that go unnoticed. You are the everyday heroes. For most of us, we may not be personally affected by a major catastrophe, but at some point we will find ourselves in need of help, and there is no doubt you will be there. When a woman in labor doesn't make it to the hospital in time, you are there to deliver the baby on the side of the road. Or when our elderly relative falls at their home and you're the first there to make sure they're okay. When the car wreck occurs, you're there to keep everyone calm and provide the needed medical care to those affected. Earlier this year, a disabled man living out of his vehicle in Lebanon became trapped in rising creek waters. Firefighters waded through thigh-high, fast-moving water for 1/4 of a mile to rescue him before waters rose any further. These unrecognized moments are daily happenings for you as first responders. When we otherwise might feel hopelessness or despair, you are there to meet our needs. I am so grateful for your service and sacrifice in the fires and the floods and the major tragedies. But I am also very grateful for your service and sacrifice in these other moments when you bring the help and the hope that truly affects each of us separately and when each of us has a desperate need. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you for the opportunity to address you here today. May God bless each and every one of you in the state of Tennessee. Thank you.
At this time, Commissioner Perky will introduce Senator Massey.
Thank you, Rick. As I, finished my last 4 months here in Nashville, I'm beginning to reflect on what these 8 years have meant to me. And most of those reflections will generally center on people. Heard the governor say yesterday, somebody asked him if he'll miss the job. He said, well, I'll miss part of it. So I guess we all feel that way when we're moving on in life to something else. But what I will miss most are the people that I've had an opportunity to serve with, work with, and make things happen with in all 3 branches of government. The senator that I'm about to introduce to you is one of those. Senator Becky Duncan Massey is a fellow East Tennessean from Knoxville. She comes from a prominent political family, but she stands out in that family. She has had a heart for nonprofits for years, ran a nonprofit, retired, how long ago, Senator? About a year ago, retired from that and works on her Senate duties full-time. But she asked me to come to her office shortly after becoming commissioner and said, I've got something on my mind that I want to do for first responders, and I want you to help me with it. And out of that came an award that we are pleased to be a part of in the Department of Safety and Homeland Security, and she'll talk more about that. But again, a family with a rich history in Tennessee, a rich history of public service, and once again, I would say a friend that I will miss when I leave this job. Senator, come talk with us.
Thank you, Commissioner Perky, and honored guest, and my peers from the legislature. I appreciate each of y'all being here, and the families and the friends of our recipients, both on the 3 stars and also the awards of merit. But first, we're going to go over a little bit of the history on the 3 stars. We passed this in the legislature 5 years ago in 2014. And, well, this is the 5th year. We passed it in 14, and we actually gave the first awards in 14. But actually, a lot of times we pass resolutions, and everybody signs on resolutions, and that's kind of the norm on the special ones. But on regular bills, you have a few people that sign on as co-sponsors, but not everybody. But this bill was so special, every single member of the General Assembly signed on as a co-sponsor. So what happened was in let's say, fall of 13, I was visiting my granddaughter in Austin, Texas, and my daughter. And I had attended a church, and during the service they said, and Governor Perry was here this week presenting the Star of Texas. Well, like any good legislature, we Googled it to just see what it was about. And it was similar to what we've ended up with, but I thought, wow, that's interesting. I want to come back and see if we can do something like that. And so I came back. I began meeting with, I think I met with Director Roush back there, and our FOP and our firefighters, and ultimately we met with Homeland Security. And basically when we met together with them, they go, oh, can we have it? So we started working through it. They were already doing the awards of merit, but they knew this was something special. And basically what the bill was, we said, if we have any Tennessee firefighter, first responder, peace officer that dies in the line of duty or has a career-ending injury, we need to honor them with our highest award that we can give. And so that was the impetus of that. If it hadn't have been for Tennessee, Texas wouldn't exist, so it was kind of okay to borrow something back from them. They just have 1 star. We have 3 stars. So, we took what they had and just made it much, much better. So it really has just been an honor. I worked with the department to design the awards. and, make sure that it was fitting for the sacrifice that these individuals have made. I'm waiting for the year that we have nobody, and I'll stand up here and cheer and shout and say, hey, nobody this year. But we're here to honor 3 men this year. And some words that characterize Daniel, Jason, and Derrick are courageous, strong, trustworthy, servant, protector, America's finest, negotiator, enforcer, selfless, dedicated heroes. Every day in Tennessee, brave men and women put on their uniforms and report for duty with the knowledge that they may pay the ultimate sacrifice, the ultimate price to keep our communities safe. Today we are honoring the sacrifices made by these 3 Tennessee heroes. No words can adequately express our gratitude and admiration for these brave men who dedicated their lives to selflessly serving others. The 3 Stars of Tennessee is just a small token of our appreciation, but I want the families to know we will never forget their ultimate sacrifice. Thank you. It is just an honor to be here with you today. Thank you.
At this time, Chief Justice Bivens and Senator Massey will present the 3 Stars of Tennessee Awards to the next of kin of our honorees. Sergeant Daniel Baker, Dickson County Sheriff's Office, is being posthumously awarded the 3 Stars of Tennessee Award for his selfless service to the citizens of Tennessee. On May 30th, 2018, Sergeant Daniel Baker responded to a suspicious vehicle call that turned out to be a stolen vehicle. While proceeding to apprehend the suspects, one of them opened fire on Sergeant Baker, striking him multiple times. Sergeant Baker died of his wounds at the scene of the crime. Sergeant Baker was a 10-year veteran of the Dickson County Sheriff's Office. He had previously served in the United States Marine Corps, where he received a Purple Heart Medal while deployed to Iraq. Receiving the award on behalf of Sergeant Baker is his wife, Lisa Baker.
We'll get it figured out.
Firefighter Jason Dickey, Lawrenceburg Fire Department, is being posthumously awarded the 3 Stars of Tennessee Award for his selfless service to the citizens of Tennessee. On February 12, 2018, while battling a fire, firefighter Jason Dickey, and 2 other firefighters were trapped by the partial collapse of a structure. A Mayday emergency message was transmitted and a rapid intervention team deployed to assist. The team provided emergency air to the trapped firefighters and extricated them. Medical care and resuscitation were implemented, and firefighter Dickey was transported to the hospital. While there, he passed away from his injury. Firefighter Dickey had served 11 years with the Lawrenceburg Fire Department. Receiving the award on behalf of firefighter Dickey is his wife, Jennifer Kelly Dickey. Firefighter Derrick Webb, Hardy Chapel Volunteer Fire Department, is being posthumously awarded the 3 Stars of Tennessee Award for his selfless service to the citizens of Tennessee. On January 17, 2018, firefighter Derrick Webb collapsed while preparing equipment for an upcoming training event. Despite the rapid response and resuscitation efforts of his father, Fire Chief Henry Webb, who was the first to arrive at the scene, and other emergency personnel, firefighter Webb was pronounced dead from a pulmonary embolism a short time later at Cookeville Regional Hospital. Receiving the award on behalf of firefighter Webb is his father, Chief Henry Webb. Please join me in recognizing our 3 Stars of Tennessee Award honorees who have made the ultimate sacrifice for the citizens of Tennessee. Please be seated. At this time, Chief Justice Bivens and Senator Massey will present governor's certificates to our first responder award recipients. This portion of the ceremony will honor public safety officials selected by their Homeland Security districts or their state agencies who represent the outstanding law enforcement and first responder personnel who work tirelessly to keep Tennesseans safe. Emergency Medical Technician, Advanced Emergency Medical Technician, Rescue Tech Jason Lowe, Advanced Emergency Medical Technician Fred Kemp, and Paramedic Bob Watson, Johnson City Emergency Medical Services, are being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 1 for their decisive actions while treating and transporting the victim of a motorcycle accident who was suffering from a life-threatening arterial bleed, saving his life. Accepting the award for Paramedic Watson is Fred Kemp. Paramedic Watson has been deployed. Officer Bradley Corby, Bristol Police Department, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 1 for his rapid response to a call involving an unresponsive male who was not breathing and did not have a pulse. Officer Corby administered CPR that medical authorities credited with saving the man's life. Dispatcher Tristan Boyd, Loudoun County E911, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 2 for her rapid response during which she found an unresponsive toddler inside of a shut car during the heat of the day. She removed the card and conducted CPR until the ambulance arrived. John Brinkley, American Medical Response, Knoxville, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 2 for his professionalism exhibited in the planning of multiple deployments of emergency medical services responders to the areas of Texas and Florida struck by hurricanes, resulting in multiple lives being saved. Firefighter Michael Arp, Meigs County Fire Rescue, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 3 for his heroic actions where he entered a burning house to rescue a handicapped man, saving his life. Dispatcher Crystal Long, Meigs County 911, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 3 for her professional calmness while gathering information about, keeping the caller calm, and directing 24 first responders to a house fire involving a handicapped man. Firefighter Waldo Vasquez, Putnam County Fire Department, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 4 for his decisive actions while shopping at a local store where he learned of a fellow shopper who was having a heart attack. He provided CPR to this man until emergency medical personnel arrived, saving his life. Firefighter Mickey Ledbetter, East Clay Fire and Rescue, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 4 for his professionalism in designing and executing the East Clay Communications Plan, bringing emergency services communications to a small community that previously had none. Deputy Chief Glenn Johnson, Franklin Fire Department, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 5 for his technical expertise in developing, delivering, and implementing protocols and guidelines which significantly enhanced the all-hazard incident management as well as the urban search and rescue capabilities of the district. Chief Johnson was deployed this morning east, and accepting the award on his behalf is Chief Garzarek. Assistant Chief Chris Clark, Laverne Fire Department, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 5 for his technical expertise in developing, delivering, and implementing protocols and guidelines which significantly enhanced the swiftwater rescue capabilities of the district. Acting Deputy Chief Brian Cruz, Shelbyville Police Department, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 6 for his comprehensive planning and execution of the preparation and response to the White Lives Matters protests and counter-protests which occurred in Shelbyville His leadership ensured all participants could exercise their First Amendment rights in a safe environment. Deputy Randy Paddock, Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 7 for his rapid response to a call where a 4-week-old child was not breathing. He used CPR and an automated external defibrillator to save her life. Engineer Kendall Sherrill, Lawrenceburg Fire Department, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 8 for his heroic actions in removing 3 firefighters who were trapped under a structure which had collapsed while they were battling a fire, avoiding further loss of lives that night. Captain John Brewer, Lawrenceburg Fire Department, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 8 for his heroic actions where he and 2 other firefighters were trapped under a structure which had collapsed while they were battling a fire. He was able to extricate himself and make a mayday call from his radio to trigger the Rapid Intervention Response Team, avoiding further loss of lives that night. Corporal Jim Sanders, Henry County Sheriff's Office, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 9 for his heroic actions during which he saved a man from a residential trailer that was at risk of being consumed by a fire in an adjacent business. Lieutenant Scott Wyrick, Henry County Sheriff's Office, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 9 for his persistence in locating a missing man in a field who had become severely dehydrated and was on the brink of death, who would not have otherwise survived the night. Deputy Hunter Marbury, Madison County Sheriff's Office, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 10 for his rapid rendering of CPR to an individual who had hung himself at his home, saving the man's life. Sergeant Tom Knowlton, Madison County Sheriff's Office, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 10 for his leadership in taking charge of a scene where a suicidal individual was threatening to jump from a bridge onto the interstate, during which Sergeant Knowlton used his training and experience to talk the man down. Planning Officer Greg Wayman, Memphis Office of Emergency Management, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 11 for his expertise in drafting, coordinating, and implementing the comprehensive plan for the numerous events that 150,000 people attended in conjunction with the Martin Luther King Jr. 50th commemoration. Trooper Trey Dixon, Tennessee Highway Patrol, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to the state of Tennessee for his rapid response upon learning that an individual in an adjacent restaurant had collapsed. Trooper Dixon took over from a man who was improperly administering CPR and began to administer it himself, ultimately saving the man's life. Trooper Dustin Cotton, Tennessee Highway Patrol, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to the state of Tennessee for his rapid response to a call involving an unresponsive child who was very red and covered in sweat. He retrieved instant ice packs from his medical bag and had a bystander gather more ice, where he is able to lower the child's body temperature, potentially saving her life from the febrile seizure she had suffered. Special Agent Nathan Neese, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to the state of Tennessee for his professional leadership while assigned as case agent for coordinating TBI's investigation of the murder of Sergeant Daniel Baker, Dixon County Sheriff's Office, where his unique skill set brought a level of calmness to an emotional situation. District Coordinator Jenna Lee Kenyon and District Coordinator Jay Nance, Tennessee Emergency Management Agency, are being presented Governor's Certificates of Appreciation for exceptional support to the state of Tennessee for their leadership while attached to a 40-person nurse strike team deployed to Florida in support of Hurricane Irma, during which they coordinated travel, logistics, and shelter for the strike teams. At this time, please recognize all of our distinguished honorees for their selfless service to the state of Tennessee. Please be seated. Ceremonies like these don't just occur. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes work. Anybody in here has spoken with or received an email from Candace Tate? Let's give Candace a round of applause. And Kristen Miller also came to our rescue the last few days to help make this happen. So Kristen, thank you. This concludes our ceremony. There's food and beverages on the other side of the atrium. Anybody that would like additional photos, please come up to the stage and we will take whatever photos you want. Recognize photographer Jed. He's been with the state 38 years. The governor's photographer. He will do a great job for you. Thank you all for attending our ceremony.